From Chandler losing his cool at the Irishman to the athlete potentially fighting low-ranked fighters because of him. Michael Chandler reacts to Conor McGregor missing the USADA return deadline. The athlete is pissed at his opponent for dropping out last minute. Unfortunately, Conor's comeback isn't coming anytime soon. The Irishman missed the deadlines for re-entering USADA's drug testing pool, sending everyone into a frenzy, especially Chandler, who had been dreaming about this bout since his Bellator days. The news of the Irishman missing the deadline spread like wildfire, with Chandler taking shots at his ex-opponent on social media. Iron took to Twitter and wrote, "Where the f*** is that guy?" He also said that it's impossible for Conor to step into the octagon on December 16th, 2023, which is supposed to be the UFC's last pay-per-view event for the year. To make things even worse, USADA showed up at Chandler's door for a drug test, and the athlete has no opponent for what was supposed to be the biggest night of his career. I'm not going to lie, but I'd be mad if I were him. This guy was training like crazy for the upcoming bout. McGregor is one of the best fighters the UFC has ever seen. That left hook has put the best of the best to sleep in the cage. Chandler was giving his blood, sweat, and tears for this one. He was leaving no stone unturned with a clean diet, intense training, and the mindset of a beast. Chandler was training MMA every single day, but it looks like it's about to go to waste. He was posting workout videos fairly often, and you could tell that he was putting in the work. Chandler was hungry for a victory over the Irishman. McGregor versus Chandler is in jeopardy, and it's the Irishman's fault. He's been delaying the USADA testing for months. UFC fighters need to be in the anti-doping agency's testing pool for at least 6 months if they want to step into the octagon. You know it, I know it, McGregor did too. But he still didn't take it seriously. The Irishman has been off USADA's grid due to his gruesome leg injury from UFC 264. That leg break in the opening round of his bout against Dustin Poirier almost ended his career. Fighters aren't allowed to leave USADA even if they're injured, unless they're retiring. But Conor did anyway. He was all healed and ready to return to the cage, and fans were hyping up his comeback. You can't say you don't miss the athlete's one-punch knockouts. It's been a while since we've seen him in action. The UFC star was hoping to get exceptions from USADA, and honestly, it's natural to expect organizations to bend their rules for you when you're one of the highest-paid celebrities in the world. Cristiano Ronaldo has Saudi Arabia change a law for him, so it wasn't a stretch for him to think USADA was going to give him what he wanted. The Irishman wanted the agency to let him pass 2 tests and call it a day, but USADA didn't budge. They want him in the pool for 6 months if he wants to step into the octagon again. Instead of giving in to the agency, he continued to delay it. The Irishman went to town on USADA on social media. He called the agency garbage, as if that's going to make things any better. But you know Conor, this guy loves stirring up controversy on the internet, so beefing with USADA wasn't that big of a deal to him. Of course, it didn't end well for him. What else was he expecting? I'm sure he's regretting it now since Conor was excited about his comeback. The athlete was hungry for a fight, and it's pretty much been his entire personality. Conor became a coach on the UFC's reality show, The Ultimate Fighter, just so he could be close to the octagon. The Ultimate Fighter is where Conor and Michael collided. Chandler is also a coach on the show, and fans are here for their heated rivalry. The bad blood between these two was hyping the fight like no other. The show features several physical altercations between the two, with multiple threats of breaking each other's noses. So fans were impatiently waiting for them to settle the score in the octagon in the final quarter of 2023. Well, that fight is up in the air now, and of course, the fans are lashing out. They're pissed at the Irishman. Conor's been the hot topic in the fight world for all the wrong reasons lately. That's not the comeback he was expecting, is it? I'll get more into his troubles later, but right now, fans are mad because they wanted this bout. Many took to Twitter and shared their take on Conor missing the deadline. A lot of fans think that it's all a setup and that Dana White planned for the fight to fall through. That's because everyone knows that Conor's comeback fight is going to bring in a historic pay-per-view. Everyone is going to tune in to watch the Irishman fight after nearly 2 years. So yeah, it's going to be a blockbuster fight. White wants it for UFC 300, which is why he never put pressure on Conor to join the drug testing pool. Instead, he lured him in with an offer to join the Ultimate Fighter. A fan wrote on Twitter, "I guarantee y'all are planned for UFC 300. Well, that's quite the theory. Other fans think it's all McGregor's fault, and he's the only one to blame here. One wrote, "Conor is a joke nowadays. Sad." Well, I'll tell you one thing, his behavior has been questionable lately, and there's no denying it. Another fan wrote, "Has anyone noticed that Conor's been a clown lately?" Yeah, I totally agree. The Irishman hasn't been his best lately, and I'm sure the USADA deadline isn't even on his list right now. McGregor has a lawsuit to deal with first. Remember the NBA Finals Game 4 between the Miami Heat and Denver Nuggets? I'm sure you do, because it made a lot of buzz on the internet. A lot more than just a basketball match came out of that one. What do I mean? Conor was accused of assault. It's not like McGregor hasn't dealt with a couple of lawsuits in his lifetime, but trust me, they do a lot of damage. There's no solid proof against the athlete right now, and it's all under investigation, but a woman accused him of harassing her in the men's bathroom at Kaseya Center in Florida. She also said that the whole arena's security was in on it, and that bit kind of sounds like a stretch. You can't tell me that security for the whole league, team, and arena helped Conor with this. The Irishman denied all allegations, and he's ready to fight it off in court like all the other times before. We'll have to see how that goes, but a fight isn't in the cards before all these charges are dropped. Plus, this wasn't the only trouble McGregor caused at the game. He's been causing controversy like no other. I'm sure he's doing something to get into trouble as we speak. The Irishman also beat the hell out of a mascot at the Miami Heat game. It was supposed to be a fun promotional skit for McGregor's new spray title, but things went horribly wrong. When Conor was on the court to promote his spray, the Miami Heat's mascot, Bernie, walked in wearing huge boxing gloves. I'm sure you can guess where I'm going with this. McGregor then knocked out the mascot and kept hitting him after he went crashing into the floor. Poor guy. Conor's punches are brutal as hell. This guy is bringing MMA to basketball courts, so you'd expect him to at least try to make things work for his comeback fight. But he's got a lawsuit to deal with. Where does Chandler stand in all of this? He's just a guy who got caught in Conor's crossfire. But hold on tight, Chandler, because there's a potential opponent for you. I know Iron was looking forward to locking horns with McGregor, but now that their fight's up in the dust, Arman Tsarukyan has called out the athlete for a challenge. I know he isn't McGregor, but this guy's ranked 8th in the lightweight division, and he's fresh off a win against Joaquim Silva. So if Chandler wants to keep the show going, this is the right guy for him. So there you have it. From Chandler potentially fighting low-ranked fighters because of the Irishman, to Chandler losing his cool at the Irishman. This was how Michael Chandler reacted to Conor McGregor missing the USADA return deadline.